Hello viewers, welcome to another edition on this program Health 247, and today we are going to be talking on obesity and its management. A lot of people who are really fat, it affects them especially in their day-to-day activities, which can also have an adverse effect on their health. So we are going to be treating this topic on obesity because it is something that must be treated. Some people don't take their health serious because they eat all kinds of food, especially food that has a lot of calories. That's calorie food. With that, they put on a lot of weight, which will now affect their health. So today, and I'm not going to be doing it alone. As usual, I always have a health practitioner who will be taking us all through this topic, obesity and its management. As usual, if you want to be part of the show, you can follow us on all our social media platforms on Official Rapid TV, and you can keep watching us on StarTimes channel 176. So we are going to go on a short break, and when we return, you'll be meeting our guest. All right, viewers, today I have with me a certified dietitian. He is Femi Dutun, if I'm absolutely right.
Femi Tundun.
Femi Tundun. All right, it's a
much.
Pleasure to have you on the program Health 247.
Thank you for having me. I'm very happy and excited to be here.
Yeah.
It's actually a wonderful experience, and to share my widespread experience on the topic obesity. So thank you for having me once again. It's
a pleasure. So, will you tell us that obesity is a disease or is a chronic illness? What do you have to say about it?
All right. So, obesity is a medical condition, which is referred to, or we can use as a state when individual or a person has too much of excess fat in the body, and this can be measured either through the BMI or other medical examinations. So that is how you can define what obesity is. So it's a medical condition, but it's also a complex medical condition.
Wow, but it's not a disease.
Okay, yeah, it's also a disease right now because it's becoming a widespread.
Oh.
Okay, yeah.
So, as it is a disease, is it as it just comes like that, or what leads to obesity?
Okay. All right. So there are risk factors of, or we can say causes of obesity, and one of them is genetic factor. That means it can be transferred from the gene of the parent, or it can be simply said hereditary.
Okay.
So, and also it can be through the environment, so we call it environmental factor. So environment, that is lifestyle, poor exercise, unhealthy diet. This can also lead to obesity. And then we have other factors that can be psychological factors. This is due to stress or emotional eating or depression. That can also over time lead to obesity. And then there are other medical conditions which is maybe rare. That is maybe some certain drugs or hormonal imbalance that could also lead to obesity.
Okay, now you just mentioned something that it's hereditary. So are you telling me that some kids that we see are kind of obese, like they're fat, they got it from their parents? Maybe when you even see their parents, they're not even fat, but you'll be like wondering, how did this child become this fat?
Yes, so it's like I said, it's hereditary. It is passed through gene. Okay, so maybe if the parent or a close relative is obese, there is tendency that the child can also be obese. So once a child is obese, we can look at the family trait and see if it is something that is transferred from the parent.
Okay, if it's something that is transferred from the parent, for instance, the child is now obese, how do you now manage it? Because at a point, the child will be craving for food, because normally obese children, they love eating. You will not see them stay in one place. They'll always want to look for something to eat. So how do you control it, at least at that tender age?
Okay, so we try to make enough of awareness, just like what we are doing today,
yeah.
to create awareness that an overweight child will become an obese adult in the future.
Okay.
So that will also create awareness for parenting to provide healthy guide for the children by providing healthy food, engaging them in physical activity, and then also to give them proper information on healthy lifestyle. That is a way of preventing obesity in children.
Okay. All right, viewers, you've heard him talking about obesity, especially when it has to do with the children. So we are going to go on a short break, and when we return, he's going to take us through on this topic, not just children, but also in the psychological aspects and other places, other aspects. So don't go nowhere, we'll be right back. All right, viewers, well, welcome back. It's on the topic obesity and its management. Now he's going to be telling us on how obesity affects our body. Before, I told you that obesity can cause an adverse risk, especially in our health. So now he's going to tell us how it can affect our body. You know, we have various organs. So moving on to you, can you
give us an overview? Thank you so much. So obesity, like I said, is a medical condition, and this can lead to other complications in the body. So like I said, obesity is excess weight, like being overweight. And we have the classes of obesity. We have the class 1 obesity, that is you having, that person having in the BMI of over 30 kilogram per meter square. That's the measurement for the BMI. And we have classes.
To cut you short. Like a layman may be watching us and be wondering what is BMI, and the figures you just called, they won't understand. So just break it down.
Okay, so like I said, the measurement of obesity is measuring your weight and the height. Okay. So the measurement of the weight in kilograms, that is in our part of this country we use kilograms. Okay. In other part of the country they use pounds. Okay, so we measure that with the height in meters. Okay. So there is a formula for the BMI, that is the weight over the height square. Okay. So there is the classification of obesity is based on the BMI. So for individuals that their BMI is above 30 to 35, they are classified as obese class 1. Okay. And for persons that their BMI is above 35 to less than 40, those are classified as obesity class 2. Okay. And then for persons that their BMI is above 40, they are classified as obesity class 3. Wow. So that is how it is being classified.
So let's move back to children. Okay. Now, those children who are obese, what class will you classify them?
So there are children, usually they can be in class 1, they can also be in class 2, because looking at their height, they're actually coming up, so they will be in that category of class 1 or class 2.
Wow. Right. So, but normally we used to go to the hospitals or any place we see a weighing scale, we go to check our weight. So for children especially, how do you know that certain weight that they are not supposed to pass, especially those obese ones?
Okay, so there is ideal body weight for individuals. We have ideal body weight for children. Okay. We have ideal body weight for adults, that is male and female. Okay. So for children with their age, if they are above the ideal body weight, you now classify it also with the BMI. You can now discover that they are obese. So mostly when you see that the weight is above normal, then they are tending towards overweight or obesity.
Wow. So I just asked you a question, but you are here to answer me.
Okay,
I said,
so
how does it affect our body?
Thank you. Actually, obesity is a problem, and like I said, it's becoming widespread in our country. This overweight can lead to medical condition. For children, we have this back pain, unable to walk, unable to bear their weight, which can also become chronic, and that they might need to be in the hospital for other surgical conditions like knee replacement and the rest. That is peculiar to children, and also for adults it can lead to metabolic diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, stroke, and also it can also cause fertility problem in female.
The female.
Yes. For some persons, even when the child is obese, it can lead to them having other metabolic disorders like the PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and then they can have other complications. Maybe for the adult, infertility can come in, and then the doctor might require that they drop down some weight. So obesity can actually cause a lot of medical condition just because of having weight.
Right. I was expecting to see something on mood swings or those psychological effects.
All right, so psychological is there are stigmatization because maybe you just an obese person is in the car and people just talk about you have occupied space, and you go home, you are moody, you are feeling bad. So there could be a stigmatization, there could be mood swing, there could be lack of motivation when you are not able to exercise, you are not able to do things you want to do. Actually, that could also be a problem of obesity.
But I look at, in Africa, especially in the kind of society we are in, most of our food are high in calorie, that they are always starchy. Let's start from our swallow. We have fufu. Every day, some people used to eat this fufu. If they don't eat it, they'll tell you they've not eaten for the day. Okay, we'll go to rice that everybody loves eating. Not really everybody though, but it's normal. It's our regular food. Then we have yam. To mention but a few, but how do we try to curtail these? Like in our African society, our food are rich in calorie. And apart from that, let's talk about in the let's say the societal way. When they see someone who is slim, the next thing they will say, this person is sick. They will say,
not financially.
They'll say, this one is broke. I'll not use the word, it's not financial. They'll say, he's broke. Look at how he's looking. And sometimes when you see a girl who is lanky, like slim, some men don't find them attractive. Like they'll say, "Kai, this one na bono." Sorry, I'm using the pidgin, but that's what the kind of exclamation that we give, that this person is bony. Then you see a man too. Actually, let me tell you the truth. So normally, some women like us, we don't like very slim men. So
chubby
not really chubby, at least you have a bit of flesh, you know. But you know, the kind of society we live in, we encourage people to have body, and from that, when they see somebody fat, they don't see anything wrong with it. They will say the person is healthy. So what do you have to say about that?
Yes, I agree with everything you said. In our country, I think they look at overweight as a sign of good living.
Like a normal thing.
Yes, in fact, a sign of good living. And then, like you said, there are some persons that they feel like when you are overweight, then that is you being healthy. Which is actually not healthy. But that is what our society says. And I agree with you that our diet or our food supply or our food system in Nigeria, our staples are the high calorie or high carbohydrate diet, which is fine. But that is where we, the nutritionists, the expert, comes in to see how we can actually help in providing a healthy eating habit to help in preventing obesity.
That's okay. So moving further, I wanted to ask you something, but I think this is the right time to go for a short break, and when we return, we'll talk more. So viewers, it's been Femi Dotun, and he has been taking us through on what we should know of obesity and how it can be managed. But for now, we are going to go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue. Alright viewers, welcome back on this topic, obesity. If you are watching me and you know you're obese, just sit down, don't move, because at the end of this topic, you will learn something and you know how to cut down your diet. So he's been with me, Femi Dutsun. He has been saying that I've not been pronouncing it well. Tundun. Yeah. Okay. So now you're going to tell us how obesity can be treated, especially the kids, those ones who are obese, and those women who are pregnant. You know, women naturally, when they are pregnant, they crave for food. Even if you stop them, they will want to eat more. So you're going to tell our viewers how can it be treated.
Thank you so much. It has been an exciting time.
Yeah.
All right. So like I said earlier, that an overweight child would become an obese adult, so there is need for prevention, there is need for early intervention in the management of obesity. So for viewers listening, I would say early intervention, early awareness to early intervention is what is very, very advisable. So for children, once you see that they have large appetite and they are much sedentary, that means they are not working, try to engage them. They should be physically active, and then
that is
there's exercise, they go out, recreation, they do some sports, and the rest of them. This will engage them in burning out some amount of calories. And also their diet is also very important. You don't indulge them in fast foods, junks,
fast food like
the pastries, the burger, the pizza, the shawarma, chocolates and sweets. All these are empty calorie. They have less essential nutrients. So you have to see how you help them. They might not be able to help themselves because they don't know what is happening.
They don't know the right food to eat.
You as a parent, you have that responsibility to help them provide healthy food around them. So, and also we also try to create awareness to schools, to communities, to provide healthy food around, and that will also help in prevention and treating of obesity in children, and also in elderly ones. I'd advise that you see a dietitian, you are on a diet, and also you watch whatsoever you eat. You also indulge in exercises, you do skipping, you can do a light walk, brisk walk, all these exercises. So
which perfect sporting activities would you want them to indulge in?
Yes, so for the obesity, there is required physical activity from the body of obesity, which says that we should have exercise at least 30 minutes exercise at least 4 times a week. So if you can have a brisk walk of at least 30 minutes 4 times a week, that is also.
Sorry to cut it short. You just mentioned brisk walk. Some people will wonder, what type of brisk walk? Do you mean trekking?
Yes, so it just a brisk walk is like trekking. Just a light trekking. You are not jogging. Just a light trek. You can just take yourself out, 15 minutes out, 15 minutes in. That is a brisk walk. You can do that in the morning or later in the evening. Your free time is fine. Then nutrition is very important.
Okay.
Our diet plays an important role. Low-calorie foods, the foods that are high in carbohydrates and fat, they are the food that have the high tendency of making persons obese. So what we advise as nutritionists is to see that you reduce more of these high-calorie foods and complement with other food that have less amount of calories, and also your exercise. There could also be other interventions like the pharmaceutical interventions. Certain drugs also help in managing obesity. That is for persons that they are already obese and they need intervention. Also, there are surgical interventions which has actually been very widespread and actually doing well, which are also recommended in some cases.
Okay, you just mentioned that surgical intervention. Something just caught my mind there, because most of our celebrities, because they want to look very good, they want this figure 8, look shapy, that's what I mean. They may not be too fat, but they just want to perform such surgery. Sometimes it's not even necessary, because some of them are not all that fat, but they indulge in that, and trying to do surgery, they can even lose their lives. So I know it's widespread, but doesn't it have an effect? Because most people I have learned of so many people who tried the surgical intervention and they lost their lives. So what do you have to say about that?
Okay, like I said, it's an intervention, and for surgical intervention there is criteria, eligibility to undergo that procedure. So for individuals that are expected to go for that surgery, they will be eligible for the surgery, and then that will also be for metabolic intervention or weight intervention. So it is not a cosmetic intervention. So you don't just go in, like you said, it is not for you to look figure 8. No, it is usually to solve the problem of obesity.
That is when you are extremely fat.
Yes, that is,
so that means, so that means you don't encourage people who are not obese to go in for such surgery.
Yes, you should see a doctor, and usually it is for a metabolic intervention. So for persons that have this complication related to obesity and you want to manage that condition, the doctors in charge of that procedure will give you the proper information for that procedure. Like I would just want to say that it has been effective. There are a few cases that could be saying that some persons lost their life, but it has been effective. A lot of persons have actually undergone surgical procedure and it has been successful, and they have actually helped in managing these metabolic disorders. For some persons, they are obese and they are diabetic, they are hypertensive, they have maybe infertility, but after this procedure, it has actually, they have had intervention and they have become better. So there are positives, a lot of positives around it, but what I will ask is to ensure that you go in for the right purpose. And then it's very helpful. You
see, my mind is still going in that place, because I want to ask a question. For those who go in for such surgery and at the end of the day is successful, does it mean that they can never grow fat again? Like, is there a maintenance they should do so that they can keep fit?
Yes, okay, maybe I can just use this medium to say that this procedure is done in Nigeria. So there are facilities that do this surgery, and there are a lot of persons that have already had this procedure, and there could be tendency of regaining weight if it is not properly managed. So while you are having the procedure, you are supposed to also have a nutritionist, you are supposed to be guided, you are supposed to be monitored, and that will make it successful. For some persons, that they don't follow all these guidelines, there could be chances of weight gain.
Oh.
But that will be on the long run.
Okay.
In the long run. So that is what I can say. But it's actually, there is a huge success in the pharmaceutical intervention and the surgical intervention.
All right, we are gradually winding up. So what advice will you have to give to our viewers, especially those who are watching home? Because I just told some of my obese friends to sit down and be watching us and listen to us and know how they can help themselves. So what advice do you have to give to them?
Okay, so for parents, I would also emphasize that an overweight child would eventually become an obese adult. So quickly intervene while they are still coming up. It is easy to manage a child, and the child would appreciate what you have done in the future. And then for elderly ones, women, and usually the statistics shows that women have high tendency of becoming overweight or obese, at least 40% compared to the men of 30 or 35%.
Yeah.
So for women, I would advise that we watch what we eat, we try to maintain a healthy body weight, so that we can have good health, good body and the rest of them. And also for men, also there could be medical challenges also for obesity in men. But we should, what I would advise is for healthy diet, healthy nutrition, be physically active, be physically aware of whatsoever you are doing, and then seek help early when you have identified your problem.
Oh, that's lovely. So viewers, that's so much we can take on this topic, obesity and its management. I hope you have all learned something from today's topic. So we see you some other time. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
All right. So bye-bye and stay safe.
Bye.